Hello and welcome to the first episode of Techpreneur Show, powered by Geekotech. Today we have with us one of the biggest techpreneurs from India, Mr. Alok Kejriwal. Mr. Alok Kejriwal he has been into business for quite some time, 26 years long journey. He started from joining father's socks manufacturing business, and from there at the age of 21, after working for 10 years, one bright morning he got up and thought about something. He said, am I going to make socks for the rest of my life? And that was the transition point. Post which he went on to establish one of the most successful companies, contest companies, that is Contest to Win, and which used to host contests for brands in an interactive manner. After this success, there was no turning back. He went on to the road of serial entrepreneurship and established 3 more companies, that is Mobile to Win, Media to Win, and Games to Win. Mobile to Win is a wonderful company and was bought over by Disney. And Sir claims that he got lucky, but we feel there is definitely something magical about this, and it's not just the lucky factor. So, he post which he also has a community of entrepreneurs co-learning, which is known as the Rodin Hoods. He himself has came to be known as Mr. Alok Rodin Hood Kejriwal. And enough said. Let's hear his story from his own mouth. So, sir, first question, जो पहला question मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगा. So the entire journey. So how was the journey for you? If you have to narrate in 3 or 4 minutes, how would you narrate?
So the journey has always been. There's no journey that is a journey without a lot of pain, and I think any entrepreneur knows, past, present, and future, that life is pain. Right? Buddha said that life is full of problems.
Right.
To begin with, life is full of misery. But Buddha also said that there is a cause of misery and there is a cure of misery.
Right.
So in the same way, if I use the same metaphor for entrepreneurs, right? Entrepreneurs know that what they are getting into is not going to be easy. But there is a method to make that pain or that problem get solved, and there is a fun in it. So the journey has been a lot of learning, and it's been a constant self-correction. So, I would consider it like a machine learning. As we say in computers, AI. The machine or the bot never stops learning. It's almost like, giving a supercomputer a brain of an entrepreneur and say, now tell me, when are you ready? It'll never be ready. Even a grandmaster keeps learning steps to play a chess game. So, I think entrepreneurship is the greatest lesson that you can ever learn. It's a university that never stops teaching you. It's a graduation course that never gets over. At least at a granular level in my life, 4 or 5 incidents that I remember, not incidents but themes. One is that if you do good work, it never goes unrecognized. That period of recognition takes time. Sometimes it's instant, so people are lucky. Right. Sometimes it takes forever, so you get worn out. But it does come. The second thing is that this concept of shortcuts. A lot of people, especially youth in today's market, they want to do shortcuts. That is really tough. Because shortcuts never deliver any result. And if you see the pain that everybody has gone through, whether it's, अपने history book में पढ़ते ना वो कौन था वो मोहम्मद Ghazi जो he tried to attack India 100 times. I don't really know this story, but it was very famous. He tried to climb over the wall 100 times before he came to India. It's a Mughal emperor.
Okay.
From his day to what we see today, so the shortcut doesn't exist. And I think that's a challenge that a lot of young people have to overcome. The third thing is, this concept of entrepreneurship itself. Like a lot of people are enamored by the concept, not by what it means. It's like saying, I like to be in love, not knowing what love is. At 14 or 15, every teenager says, अरे यार मेरे को love में आना है. अब उसमें होगा क्या हालत खस्ता हो जाएगी वो बाद में पता चलेगा.
Exactly.
So that concept is it's very nice to talk about, but very difficult to implement. But you have to do it to understand what it is. Now, from a point of view of our country and how interesting it is, I think it's a haven for entrepreneurs because we are all young. We have not got very old and young and disparate communities. The whole country is under 35 and even more under 70.
Right.
Two, I think as an Indian community, we all know that technology, new things come very easy to us. Right from a watchman to a taxi driver, you'll see them playing games on Android. So we adapt very fast.
Right.
So if you would say, कि, where should be the best place to start entrepreneurship, it would be India. The most fertile ground ever. And people accept. The challenges are, the similar, same thing. How do I convince parents? How do I tell people who are married or spouse that, boss, what do I do? Why am I starting up? India has always had, at least in the IT sector, we've always had some very good jobs coming up. तो वो बड़ा लोचा का काम है, right? कि यार जॉब के अंदर मैं कैसे entrepreneurship करूँ? For which I feel there's always a time. If you can time yourself, like you young guys, right? I mean, between now to 10 years, do everything. It doesn't have to be like first I do entrepreneurship, then I do a job, whatever comes your way. But I think to end the lesson, I think you have to taste this desert once in your life. Then whether you eat it again and again is your call.
Right.
Exactly. So, sir, if I talk about, you just talk about the journey. So, if we say, experiences, sharing our experiences, can you share one good and one bad experience which you remember from your time?
So, actually, I'll combine them with one experience which actually turned out to be very bad and very good. It's an interesting question. So, in 2006, we were very lucky. I said again, we got very lucky with Disney buying out Mobile in China. But we had a really good company in India called Mobile in India, and it was doing very well. We were the sole franchise of Indian Idol. हम लोग Indian Idol का voting कर रहे थे SMS platform, and हम लोगों ने क्या करा था? We had beat Star because Star used to do KBC landline, and nobody used to get through the call.
Okay.
You remember?
Yeah.
So we had tried to get over that problem by SMS. It was a very interesting time. Good idea. And some VCs began to hover around the company, right? Because they felt that it was a very juicy and very profitable company. So one day came when they said, boss, we want to invest in the company, we want to invest in the people, we want to invest in the technology, but we don't want you. And that was a very horrible experience because to be told right on the face that they don't value you, but they value what you have done. It's fair, but it's not nice. And it became worse when they dragged me out of the company. So, in all venture capitalized companies, you have these clauses called drag out and, you can drag the entrepreneur out. So, I was dragged out. So, I became a dollar millionaire because of that transaction. But the good news was I got paid a lot of money, but it was very painful because you don't care about the money. When you are building something good, then you're all in it for the good, right? I mean, the Flipkart entrepreneurs are again and again saying, because I could have sold any time, but they're still hanging on and making it bigger and better. So that was a bad experience. But what happened because of that outcome became a really good experience. So because I was freed and because I could not do mobile and I could not do anything to do with mobile, I was forced to look again with a magnifying glass of entrepreneurship on what I could do. Because everything was mobile. Today it's like saying, आपको entrepreneurship बनना है but internet नहीं कर सकते. तो कहाँ जाएंगे आप? So that made me get into desktop gaming, flash gaming, which became Games to Win, which 7 years later I'm so proud about.
Right.
So the baddest incident became the goodest incident.
Right. Very well, sir. So, I've also read about somewhere that you were one of the entrepreneurs who survived .com bubble. So how was that experience with the entire industry exploding?
That's a great question, and I think some of the best learnings come out of that and still remain true. First and foremost is don't get misled by what people tell you. All of us at mature levels are very, very, we are endowed with common sense. So, you're a newly minted MBA, you're a newly minted entrepreneur. We all have our limits. Now if I tell you that अगर आप 100 रुपए कमाते हो आप 200 रुपए खर्च कर दो, you will not do it. Similarly, if I am funded 100, how can I spend 200? So they were led into, a lot of people were led into overspending because they were promised more money. The money never came. So lesson was never believe everything that sounds too good to be true because it's not true. Secondly, I think a lot of people even today don't understand what cost consciousness is. You have to be very cost conscious. When you become cost conscious in your mind, everything begins to then become calculable and it's something that you keep saying, boss, tell me why am I spending this money? इसमें आपको return क्या मिलेगा? तो जो return based attitude जो है, that is very important to inculcate. and that .com bust orders. And third is that you can't build, biggest lesson, you cannot build a company to sell it. You have to build a company to keep it.
Right.
Someone should tell you to sell it to them. That was the biggest flaw in the .com model of 2000. कि यार जल्दी से बनाओ फिर हम लोग बेच देंगे. हम बोलते देरी से बनाओ ताकि हम रख लेंगे. That is a lesson.
So sir, देरी से बनाओ और हम रख लेंगे. So does that still hold true? In today's 2014 if we say.
Very much यार. बॉस अभी आप देखो Facebook is a 2007 company. अब उसमें लोग अब एनालिस्ट आ रहे हैं, बोल रहे हैं बॉस अब ये बनेगा, ये मीडिया कंपनी बनेगी, ये बहुत Twitter now it's catching fire, right? Google is a 2004 company.
Right.
Yahoo is a 2004 company. So if you look at the iconic brands in our life, any brand is more than 7-8 years old. Coke is of course hundreds of years and blah blah blah. Nothing that comes and goes. I mean, the baddest example I can give you, although I'm a gaming guy, is like if you look at Farmville, came and went, boom. Now you see Candy Crush getting crushed. IPO is completely tanked. So what comes in a hurry goes in a hurry. That's the big challenge. So young people are very averse to staying and putting 10 years of their life behind an idea. अरे यार ये क्या बात है? We had as a joke, I had a very young lady here who would come wants to pitch some business to us. And she's a consultant as usual, right? And then I introduced her to a colleague and I said, this guy's been there for 15 years. So she said, oh my god, that's even longer than what marriages last. I was so stunned, I said, hey baapre, what is the lady saying? And she was married. She said, oh, that's too long, you don't need to be married for that long. Yeah, so marriage bhi job ki tarah yaar badalti karo. So I think level of patience has gone down. You need to get patience up again.
Right. So sir, moving on to the next question. If we talk about consumer psyche, since gaming is on an international level, all your games like Parking Frenzy and other games, everybody is actually playing it. So how is the psyche of consumers abroad different from Indian psyche when we specifically talk about this industry?
That's a good question again. So there are two ways to look at it, right? The good way, the one way is to say that all consumers are the same. We all play Subway Surfer. We all play, Candy Crush. We all play Angry Birds. Why? Because it's fun. So fun is universal. The language of fun is universal. If I make you hear a Brazilian song which has a good beat, you start dancing. Bhangra is everywhere in the world. So in the good news is that entertainment, which is equal to fun, is global. And where it's not spoken and read, it's very easy to translate. Okay. On the flip side, yes, there are nuances, there are certain things that you can't do because you're in India. Especially the fact that game design, the fineness of how to level up a game. These are things that take a lot of skill. But again, the internet is all open. Games are all open. You can go up to any app store and look at a game very easily. Nothing stops you from analyzing a game. If you and I play Candy Crush or Clash of Clans, we can look at everything that the game has done. So then it's easy to replicate. So the global knowledge platform is there for us to see. It is the patience to implement it.
And if you talk about in terms of revenue, generated from the in-app purchases, does it differ?
Very much. So India is 1/10 of the way people would spend in America, because we are not used to spending money on virtual things. We are not used to spending money first and foremost. So why should I spend on virtual things?
Right.
And having said that, also culturally we are saying यार free में दे दो यार, मैं क्यों पैसे दूँ? हमको फ्री की टिकट चाहिए, फ्री का खाना चाहिए, फ्री का रहना चाहिए, तो फ्री का गेम भी चाहिए. But the volume is great, na? So you can make up for volume what you can't make up for value.
Right.
So it's a volume and value. Right. And you can't get 10,000 people to download a game of cricket anywhere in the world but in India. So ठीक है यार, आप volume में खेलो.
So sir, moving on, again there was a transition from PCs to tablets, and smartphones. Since you said it's a flash gaming
Was
yeah. So how did that affect it?
Very, very, very good question and very tough question. This was one of the toughest things that we've ever done and still doing. So we moved from where we were a web company, very happy. We were reaching almost 4 to 5 million uniques on Comscore, huge success. And then one incident happened in my house. Very funny incident. So we used to have desktops, which is why I started a desktop company. Then suddenly I noticed that my kids have 2 girls.
Mhm.
They used to when I got my laptop home, they would use the laptop. So I understood that convenience is more important than form factor. Because laptop is always small, desktop is always big, but they were choosing convenience. Then they used to fight over the laptop. किसके पास laptop है, चलो हमको दियो हमको दो. फिर हिम्मत करके 4 laptop आ गए घर में. Suddenly one day I heard one thing that shocked me. So laptop at one time used to be so difficult to find because everybody was running after it. One day my wife asked my daughter, "Where's the laptop?" And she said, "Ask Mala. We have a domestic help." She said, "Ask Mala where the laptop is." So I said, if Mala is the person who knows where the laptop is, then the laptop is not significant.
Right.
Because everybody had moved to mobile. So we obviously took our best games and started taking them to mobile because the consumer was the same. That was the good news. If consumer badli ho jata, we would have been in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, Alok, now go from desktop to console, we would have died. So we were always a single game company, remained a single game company, so it became pretty okay.
Did it increase or was it stable?
The desktop business? The mobile business increased. Oh yeah, it grew very well, but let me be honest, the flash business has suffered.
How fast was the fall?
Gradual, but over every year we've been degrowing 15 to 20%. Not a good thing at all. It's tough. Very, very tough.
So sir, we've talked about a lot of things. Now, for something for the techpreneurs basically, the entrepreneurs I must say. So the community that is Rodin Hoods. So how did that happen?
So I always felt that there was something missing in my life. I was not able to contribute to community. I was not able to give back. I'm not the kind of guy who goes to hospitals and give clothes and medicine. I can't do that. I have a problem. I get, I've grown up in a bubble. So I get offended when I see misery. Like Buddha again. So I said, boss, what can we do that we don't have to do that? Then it occurred to me that all the knowledge I have, all the lessons I have, all the pain I've learned, share that. If you can give the knowledge away, then you can help people without having to meet them.
Right.
So I began to write a blog called Rodin Hood. Rodin is the thinker, Augustine Rodin's thinker, and Robin Hood is the guy who stole things.
Yeah.
So it was thinking and doing, which became Rodin Hood. That's the concept. So once that came around, then it began to flow. And then one day again I said, one man will never be able to achieve anything. मैं एक आदमी बैठकर कितना लिखूंगा, कितना करूंगा. So I opened up the community on a social networking platform, and that became plural. So we moved from singular to plural. That was the biggest idea I think I ever had, because then everybody helps everybody, and I'm insignificant in the matter.
Very true. So teams make dreams come true.
Correct.
I say. Angel investor, entrepreneurial capital. So, and you specifically mentioned that you do not like to be called a VC.
Correct.
So, and the mentoring part.
Right.
So, what's this path all about?
So the path is very simple, right? I think India very, very badly lacks what I call entrepreneur capital, which is that capital provided by entrepreneur, not by vulture, vapor, vampire, people who have no intention of your goodness, they are more intentful about their goodness. So when you meet someone, right, as a friend, आप दोस्त के साथ बैठो, तो यार बहुत मजा आता है, because he means well and you mean well. दोस्ती is that, right? आप business meeting में जाते हो, why you tense? Because he wants something from you, you want something from him, and it's a transaction, right? अब God forbid अगर आप blackmailer के पास फंस गए, तो he wants everything you have without you getting anything in return. So very often क्या होता है, when someone pays money to you to run a company, their interest is not your personal development. Their interest is भाई 10x मिलेगा कि नहीं. And then the conflict begins. Now the entrepreneur knows what the problems are. So I think entrepreneur capital is like softer capital. It's friendlier capital. In Muslim countries they have that thing ना, वो क्या बोलते हैं वो without interest.
They give out money.
They are not allowed to take interest.
Right.
I love that. From a thought point of view, it's very noble. then everybody gets a free chance. So in this way, the idea is to merge, and also let's remember that when an entrepreneur will give a capital without that demanding nature, then he will have to mentor the company. Because अगर उसको वापस चाहिए अपना पैसा तो अपनी जी जान लगा दे. अच्छा जो बहुत हेवी, जो बहुत फैट वॉलेटेड वीसी होता है, उसने ये रखा है कि ठीक है 100 में डालूंगा 2 में निकलेगा, तो he doesn't care. Here you care. So angel, the mind of an angel with the heart of an entrepreneur and the wallet of a capitalist. That is what the combination is. It just came out.
Amazing. I'm still
trying
to absorb.
It just came
so much. So, sir, we talk about lean startups, bootstraps, bootstrapping
Correct.
startup. So, if we talk about the VC funding versus the bootstrapping, what would you suggest?
See, it all depends on your own capability of raising money and executing to the money. And if you look at the e-commerce guys, they're the reverse of any bootstrap you can think of, right? They're not done, they've gone all out. और बहुत सारे लोग हमारे जैसे हैं जो बीच में बूटस्ट्रैपिंग भी करते हैं, VC भी करते हैं, और बहुत सारे और लोग हैं जिन्होंने VC पैसा कभी नहीं लिया है, and yet they're doing so well. So it's all your personal interest and personal belief. I, for example, cannot spend 100 crores a month on advertising because I don't have the guts. Some people can. I can't lose 25 crores a year in a month in losses, but some people can. It's very ordinary to lose 300 crores for people. So it's your own gut feel, it's your own capacity, it's your own drive. As long as you can turn that money into positive. So it's like this, right? Today if I take 300 from you, maybe my capacity is to make it 3,000. But if I take 300 crores from you, then I should have the capacity to make it 30,000 crores. If I take 30 rupees from you, 300 rupees आराम से बच जाएगा. Correct?
So, sir, one thing I missed for the last question was mentoring. What happens is if you have 2-3 mentors,
Correct.
and one is yourself, and we say we are the best judge of our own decisions. So how that conflict happens? कि boss किसकी बात माने, and who is that person who's right? There's something you've already written about this furnace test, naivety. So how does it all?
So that's again a very pointed good question. I think the real trick is to learn who to ask what question. When it comes to common sense, you have to ask yourself, boss, am I doing the right? Am I stretching this business too far? Why am I getting up in the morning and doing it? You should have abandoned. No mentor can tell you. He give all, rubbish. But if you talk to a mentor and say, boss, how do I make an offer to a co-founder? If you don't have the experience, how can you contribute to the discussion? If you're not flown a plane, you will not go in the cockpit. So there, you have to basically ask the mentor to help you. Tomorrow, if you are saying, how do I pay salary to myself? It's your capacity. If you feel you want to do very big justice to your startup, then you don't take salary. अब आप mentor को पूछोगे तो उसको क्या जवाब मिलेगा? He'll say, boss, how do I know? So I think the problem arises when people ask the wrong people the wrong question. What they should be answering themselves, they're asking the mentor. And what they're asking should be asking the mentor, they're asking themselves. That is where the problem starts. Yourself and your co-founder, boss, if you have grown up in engineering college, if you have good friends, if you have buddies, if you have, drunk and together and fought and cried together, then how can a mentor create equation between you? I'm going to like two of you, right? I don't know what your backgrounds are. You're two good guys, that's all I know. Like you say, help us split equity. How do I know? What have you learned? By the time I learn and unlearn, the time has passed.
Right. And so moving on with the same question, sometimes what happens is, when you are under mentoring, so you get so much used to, taking advice from the mentor that you go on asking everything from him, and you're kind of dependent, and that kills your the attitude.
Nice. It's a very good point here. Yeah, I think again that's the ability of the mentor, not of the mentee, to turn off the tap, right? आप spirituality में भी देखो, the gurus never give you too much. They give you just enough to survive. So I think a great mentor is the kind of guy who can turn off the tap and say, boss, enough. Now why don't you think on it?
So, sir, again, the question comes back to the tech industry in India. This e-commerce or the Z-commerce, as you say. So, what is its future? And with many of us, in our MBA discussions we say, Ankit himself used to say that this is going to burst one day. So,
Yeah.
So, what's exactly its future?
So, I think this is a very tricky question because a lot of us have been proven wrong and a lot of us have been proven right, depending on what side you are. The concept that people will want to buy things in a convenient way is not going to ever go away. It's human nature. It's common sense, as I said.
Right.
If I can get something sitting in my house, why will I not do it? Now the question is, what does it take to get it there? A lot of companies are burning cash to prove that they can become the top of mind brand. Therefore, the gut is that they will become the biggest brand because of price advantage. Will that remain? We don't know. So if you're fighting an e-commerce battle with only price as your point of value, then you are fighting a battle with a very risky weapon. That weapon may vanish.
Right.
If some people are fighting a battle with a very strong proposition, like Myntra, I can fashion you better than anybody else. I can provide you a value that nobody can give you. I can style you. Then it may not be price sensitive. Then you are fighting a concept that H&M and Zara won't come and eat your lunch tomorrow. So I think e-commerce has now the fight has gone deeper into what barrel are you standing on and how shaky is that barrel. If your barrel is only because you've got rich investors, then that's really shaky. Because investors are the first to turn away and run away. They are the most disloyal people to entrepreneurs. So I think to answer very pragmatically, e-commerce per se is never going to go away. But I think the challenge is all the entrepreneurs trying to execute in that space. Do they understand what battle are they fighting? Have they gone to battle of Panipat thinking they are in Waterloo?
Right.
Then you are in trouble. Some people are fighting price wars without having the capacity to fight it. Well, then you are in trouble.
So, what would be your suggestion to people out there if someone is entering into the space and the space is highly competitive? Take for example the space of t-shirts business.
Sure.
Customize or some, whatever the designs they are selling. So there are n number of people entering. Even the MBA people are themselves getting into, and the well-established companies are already there. So what would be your advice?
So I think the big advice is don't force entrepreneurship on yourself. People are taking on to उनके यार हम तो बनेंगे ही entrepreneur, कुछ भी हो जाए, मतलब ऐसे जैसे कि गंगा जी में नहाना ही है. तो कोई क्या है यार, मत नहाओ यार, कुछ नहीं होगा. You will still be साफ सुथरा, don't worry. Secondly, I think a lot of people have just stopped imagining ideas. Everybody has gone into this, oh my god, everything is great, e-commerce is great. I mean, then you're not an entrepreneur, you're a copycat. Then you should be like, a Xerox machine. Entrepreneurs think of great ideas and implement them, right? That's how you have an Apple, you have an Instagram, you have a Facebook. Zuckerberg said, how do I copy Google? Then he would have been another dead duck. So I think the challenge is now a lot of these brains of our country are just about how do I copy the guy better. That's terrible. It's really insulting. And third, I think again, whether it's the e-commerce entrepreneur or the digital entrepreneur who's trying to do agency business, it's a very Indian mentality. We don't check the hard facts before we jump. वो कुएं में कूदने के बाद सोचते हैं कि पानी है कि पता नहीं पत्थर है पीछे. That's a very big thing. We don't ever excite our knowledge. We don't go into the depth of the matter. We're just very casual in our nature of assumption. Assumption is our birthright. That's what we think we are. So that catches you very badly. वो साला it destroys you.
Right. Assumptions. So sir,
है ना? मैंने सोचा था सर, ऐसे सोचा था, तो पढ़ा था. फ्लिपकार्ट में तो बहुत पैसे बनेंगे, एग्जिट हो जाएगा तो यार साले.
So sir, moving on. since
How many questions more?
since you are into entrepreneurship for the last 26 years, so what are the most productive tools to when you use while working? You would like to suggest some of it?
Yeah. The most important productive tool is how to use your time. And it's your mind and your time management skill. It's very easy to waste time or very easy to brooding, thinking again and again of the same topic, getting stuck on the same conversation. What did the guy tell me? You have to curate your mind. That's why I keep saying meditate, be spiritual, do some yoga, because it trains your mind. So it's like a warrior, When you look at people who are fighting jets or flying jets, they have razor sharp concentration. They can't distract themselves because they'll die. So that's the discipline. The other tool I think is just constantly learning. A lot of us just feel that we belong to e-commerce domain, so games won't teach us anything. We belong to games, so fashion won't teach us anything. I think we have to spend a few hours a day just learning from other things and other people. That's also, I think, a self-development tool. And third, my humble opinion is how to express yourself with a minimal clutter. People are so cluttered in their thinking, in their speaking, in their expression. That really irritates. It just to be able to be sharper and sharper in your speech, in your writing, in your thinking, that makes you much sharper. So these are all self-improvisation tools. I don't care about an app or anything. Just keep on self-improvising.
So, last question which I would like to ask is, I would seek your advice to the techpreneurs out there, the young blood, the Gen Y, which we say. So, what is the final advice to them if they're planning to enter this industry, specifically technology industry?
You don't listen to any advice. All advice is okay. You just have to listen to your own heart's advice, number one. But if you really want to listen to some other important diktats that the world has seen again and again and again, you have to be brave. Yeah. It's like, watch Gladiator and Braveheart and become that. Become a gladiator in the ring. Nobody can teach you how to fight those animals when they come. You can get all the advice you can before you get there. But when they come, you have to fight. So I think the biggest thing is to not get afraid. Because a lot of things happen that you have not planned for. And then people say, nobody knew this. That, I keep telling people, after 6 months of getting funded for the first time, my VC went bankrupt. Now, boss, have you heard of that? VC going bankrupt, never heard of that, right? हम उनको फोन कर रहे हैं, फोन बज रहा है यार, कोई उठा ही नहीं रहा है. अरे भैया क्या हुआ सर, हम तो कंपनी बंद हो गई. तो वॉचमैन ने सर कंपनी बंद हो गई. I mean, बड़ी VC is बंद यार, हमारा क्या होगा यार? So I think just be brave and be sensible. That's the two things you need to be, brave and sensible. If you go with bravery and sensibility, you will win that war.
So it was really wonderful talking to you.
Thank you. My pleasure and honor.
Geekotech wishes you unimaginable heights of success.
Lovely. Thank you. We need that.
And obviously the right side of the Mount Everest, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you for watching the show, guys. Hope you find some value out of it. Do share it with all your techpreneur mates so that they could also benefit from it. And don't forget to join the community, that is the rodinhoods.com. Definitely it is going to help you, and one of the best communities around in India for entrepreneurs to join and take advantage. You can find all the links in the description below to follow us and Mr. Alok Robinhood, Alok Robinhood Kejriwal. Thanks a lot, guys. See you next time. Till then, it's me, Gaurav, standing off.